Hello, my name is Kelsey Eichard, and I will be presenting on my second curriculum scholar, Maxine Greene. Today we're going to be discussing Maxine's life and career history, her influences, some recurring topics and themes, the significance of her research in my field, and the impact of her research. One of my favorite quotes from Maxine Greene is here listed on the left: "I am what I am, not yet," which is a hopeful reminder. Maxine Greene is considered an American educator, philosopher, social activist, and an author. She was born December 23rd in 1917 and died on May 29th in 2014. During her life and career, in 1938, she received a Bachelor's of Arts in American History and Philosophy from Barnard College. She also earned a Master's in Arts and a PhD in Educational Philosophy. She also taught at NYU, Montclair College, and Brooklyn College. In 1965, she joined the Teachers College of Columbia University as the faculty and was the only female voice on staff. During her 30 years as a philosopher, she was the philosopher in residence at Lincoln Center Institute for the Arts. In 2003, Maxine Greene opened the Center for Aesthetic Education and Social Imagination, which supports a diverse people group and continues to do so today. She also wrote various novels and books, including Releasing the Imagination and Variations on a Blue Guitar. She also received many honorary degrees from various universities. Some inspirations to Maxine Greene's work include Jean-Paul Charles Sartre. He's an aesthetics and art. He believed in using aesthetics and art as a tool for social activism. He thought that art was not just limited to what is on canvas or on paper or in sculpting. It was something that was alive and breathing and moving and living in everyday life. She was also influenced by John Dewey and his concept of democracy in the classroom. She believed in allowing students to take ownership of their learning and, in doing so, motivating them to be self motivated learners. She was also influenced by Alfred Schultz and his notion of wide awakeness and reflectiveness. Another person she was influenced by was Hannah Arendt. They shared a vision of humans as having greater potential in the creation of a more emancipated school community, along with a sense of democracy in a school. And just a little more about democracy in the classroom. Greene and her fellow counterparts believed that democracy in the classroom created an authentic version of yourself with a heightened consciousness and reflectiveness. It also showed you the greater potential in what an emancipated school community can do. By freeing students to make their own choice, it allows them to be more motivated to make the right choices in the classroom and in the real world, thus creating a greater moral responsibility in their own education. It also leads to authentic engagement because students are actually interested in what they're learning, and it creates an authentic engagement opportunity in their work, in their lives, and in those around us. And finally, democracy in the classroom is all about giving students a voice within the walls of a school. One of the main theories that Maxine Greene promoted was aesthetics in education and how important it was. It created a synonymous idea with art, dance, music, drama, and literature, but it involves all forms of education that can foster creativity and beauty that is directly derived from students. In other words, learning is more than just things on a paper. Maxine Greene's research significance stems from the ability to understand curriculum and consciousness and the connection between those two things. The main issue that Maxine Greene discovered was that learners are not given opportunities to make sense or of meaning of their life, and that they rarely are able to ask questions, imagine, or reflect on their experiences. This often leads to a feeling of being stuck in an analytical dissection of meanings and not truly relating or understanding what you're learning in school. Her solutions that she offered were to challenge teachers to create opportunities for student voices to be heard, as well as stepping away from a fixed mindset, meaning, and terms. In other words, allowing students to ask the hard questions even if we don't know the answer, and then pursuing the answers to those questions together. In doing so, this is enabling students to use their imagination to move beyond what's in the textbook or what's in the curriculum map and create new meanings. This quote from Maxine Greene states, "The arts, it has been said, cannot change the world, but they may change human beings who might change the world." And I think that's a really telling quote. And as an English teacher, I love this connection to my content because as a teacher of the humanities, it is one of the few subjects that allows students to reach beyond the paper meaning of things. So the impact on my teachings that Maxine Greene had, the biggest thing is she encouraged me to stop fearing the hard questions. Oftentimes it can be seen as a challenge to teachers, but it's the best kind of challenge. So she challenges teachers to also become more aware of your role in the world. Because if we don't have this self-reflection, how can we encourage students to use the same self-reflection? This self-reflection comes from analyzing where we come from and how this self-awareness can affect your understanding of the world. If we only practice what we have been taught our entire lives and we never seek to learn more about ourselves and the greater world, we are limiting our influence on students that aren't like us. So the call to action that Maxine Greene offers for teachers nowadays is to allow students to ask questions and teachers ask questions themselves. If you don't agree with something that's going on in your school, ask questions about why these traditions are the way they are, and don't shy away from what might be a hard answer. She also challenges us to reflect on our own experiences, reorder past and new experiences. And what that simply means is taking time to evaluate the things that make us us and analyzing whether or not those key things are important to continue carrying in our future weight, in our future load. She also challenges us to encourage students to ask questions, and the best way we can model this is by asking questions ourselves to students. Teaching them and modeling how to ask the hard questions will encourage them to ask the hard questions themselves. And in doing so, this is promoting active learning. And finally, these are my sources. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you learned a little bit today, and I hope you were encouraged to ask the hard questions in your classroom.